Right, because you're a fellow ex-co-host.
Exactly.
We'll definitely get into that.
But at some point, I just realized, oh, hold on a second. I have something here. I have a cleaning business here, right? And my only client is myself.
How do you train your cleaners? How do you, who do you hire, and how do you maintain that they stick to the checklist?
We've seen everything. Definitely the worstest parties. Really, you don't know who is going to enter your place. Anything else, you need to hire slow. It's multiple tests that I do before that person actually enters the team.
How Airbnb operators, whether they're companies or they're just individuals who are running Airbnbs, how can they improve their, cleaning experience? Welcome to yet another episode of Beyond the Listing, and today we have wonderful Alina Lapteva, who is the founder of a cleaning company, and we're so happy. Edwin and I are so happy to see you here today. So can you, start by telling us a little bit more about your company, about, how many people do you work with, and just, general things.
Okay, great. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
So my company is about 30 people right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it includes actually cleaners and management. There are quite a few people in the management as well. And how I started doing it, it was part of Airbnb business before.
Right, because you're a fellow ex-co-host.
Exactly.
We'll definitely get into that. And, since you already mentioned, do you like this business a little bit more than the co-hosting? What do you...
I think both businesses are great. It's just Airbnb business has changed quite a bit, especially during the pandemic. During the pandemic, right? It changed a lot.
Yeah.
So I made a decision to just focus on the cleaning for now. But how it started, I started with one unit, right? And just after that, I was cleaning it myself. And then I started to expand a little bit, did more Airbnbs, right? And then at some point you're like, okay, I need a team.
Yep.
I need a team. I need to start training them. I need to create a system, right? So I started creating a system. Okay, what does it mean? How do I ensure that the properties are clean, right? Because at some point when it's like 20 units that need to be cleaned, you can't go and check everything.
You can't clone yourself.
Yeah. So you need to rely on your system, right? You rely on your team only. So that means that the system needs to be great, your workers needs to be great. But at some point I just realized, oh, hold on a second. I have something here. I have a cleaning business here, right? But my only client is myself. Right? So the only client is we're servicing our needs. And I thought, okay, maybe I can take it outside and create another business. So the property management company was Your Lifestyle Group, and then it became Your Lifestyle Cleaning. That's how it was.
What size were you when you did the transition? Were you managing 10, 15, 20 properties on Airbnb?
Yeah, it was about 20, 25.
25. Wow, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And mostly in Toronto?
Yeah, so there is a story about it. It was all in one building.
Oh, that's even
better.
I
didn't know that. Which building was that?
That's a scale of economies. That's
it
good
was
stuff.
In Pantages Hotel.
Oh,
which one is that?
They banned it, didn't they, recently?
No.
Or only 30 days?
Remind me, what's the address for that one?
It's 210 Victoria.
Oh, okay, the Victoria one. Yeah.
Right next to Eaton Center. So it was it is a really good location.
Right. It's a great location.
And what led you to be like, you know what? Even with the scale of, with the scale you have and efficiencies in one building, and you're still like this, let's just take the cleaning side out and just run this. What led to that decision?
Well, primarily it was the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the way we did it back in the day, right? It was renting this units at premium price, which we definitely screwed up the pricing in those buildings because all those premium rents were coming through because of us, right? And
so you're paying a little bit extra to the owners in order to be able to short-term arbitrage technique.
Yeah, and that's it. And then we deal with everything else.
Yep.
So whether it's booked, it's not booked, everything else is on us. If there is a flood, which happens, then we need to repair everything. We need to deal with this, insurance, everything is on us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically the costs ramped up as pandemic happened, and then the regulations probably came in
During
with
the
primary
pandemic, the
residence.
problem was, because I got in 2012 approximately. So it was highly unregulated business at that point, right?
Yep.
So, and you could get away with different things,
Yep. Yes, you
right?
can.
And the
Exactly.
buildings didn't know what to do with it,
Yep.
right?
The city wasn't as hardcore.
Yeah, the city wasn't really sure how to regulate this.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, okay, let's go. Let's see what happens, right? So, and I was just experimenting. And
With 25 units, just a small experiment.
well, you start with one, but then it escalates,
Right
and
on,
then at that point, I was also married to another, highly passionate person that wanted to see what we can do with this.
Right.
Yeah. So,
yeah. And Farouk, who you
Yeah.
just mentioned, he was on this podcast and
Yeah.
he had a few stories to tell, that's for sure. So you guys had a pretty wild adventure.
For sure.
Scaling and going through
sure.
ups and downs. So yeah, lots of experience.
You
lots of
learn a
learnings.
lot, yeah. So at that point, in busy times, we had about 13 people, cleaning staff, because sometimes you have 10, 11, 20, 12 units
Turning at the same time.
at the same time, and you just need to clean it right away, quickly. And the people that we were back then as well, we tried to pack it up as much as possible, no time in between, so if it's, okay, we, there is a, what's it called, checkout, check in the same day.
Yeah.
So, we try to make money on everything, really.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're not in the business of losing money, that's for sure.
Exactly.
So that's,
Yeah. So, some Airbnb hosts, they prefer to leave one day in between.
Yeah.
Right? So you check out, the next one is check in.
That's lost revenue.
No. We only leave an empty day when it's an orphan day, just because how things get booked, because we don't do one night bookings. It's just not a good practice. Some people do. We try not to, because it can create cost parties and stuff like that. But we don't leave an extra day to clean. Everything is back to back. Exactly. I mean, for cottages, I would assume it's more challenging,
We're
but
back
you
to
still
back.
manage it, eh?
Yeah. We're still back to
Still
back.
back to
Yeah.
back?
These
Okay.
guys are just savages.
Interesting.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think some hosts prefer to have that one day in between, because it's just what's more valuable to you, to that extra revenue or your health and stress, that you can avoid.
Yeah.
Because that day can give you much more time to
Right, definitely.
to make things
sure it's
happen.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, but we were packing everything in, right? Of course. And at this point, the business started to get to about $1 million revenue. That was approximately the business that we had. But when the pandemic started to happen, all the furniture was ours. All these forks and spoons and everything,
Right, because you have to
belonged
furnish the whole
us.
place, right?
Yeah, we had to furnish
Of
everything.
course.
And then with the pandemic, it's there is no clientele. Nobody's traveling.
Yeah.
There are no conferences.
Did you end up liquidating everything? What happened then?
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
have to pay the rent.
And you
I
have to pay
remember-
the rent.
Yeah, I remember Farouk was saying, dude, we were making so much money, and then all of a sudden, you got to pay 50 grand a month or 60 grand a month in
Yeah.
rent, and you're just like, oh.
Yep.
Yeah, it was 50, 60 grand approximately per month of those expenses. That's just pretty much rent and parking spots and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have your internet and all
utilities, all
that
that
stuff,
stuff, yeah.
insurance, so it all adds up. And I was just looking at our bank account just going down, right? So it was extremely stressful.
Can imagine.
And we've been building it like this. We've been building it for approximately 7 years, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
So, and it's really sweat and tears, because I came here as a 17-year-old with nothing, He came here also with nothing, and then we started building family, and I had a kid and all of this. So everything was really, really done by our own labor,
Yeah.
Counting everything,
little baby,
minimizing
basically, yeah.
expenses, and making it happen, and then you see taking all of that and just throwing it,
No, it's mentally very challenging. I can
It was
imagine,
very
yeah.
challenging, because it's really physical objects, it's you take this couch, and you throw it, and it's 30 couches,
So
and
you
it's
had
30
to
beds.
toss them? You didn't even sell them, or?
We tried to sell them. We tried to
But it was
sell.
also pandemic. Nobody's doing anything, right?
Yeah, we tried to sell them.
Did
But
you try and store them, or you just didn't?
again, storing them, imagine
More expenses.
more
right?
expenses, and you're just thinking, okay, what you can do. So
That's rough.
we took one apartment. It became the storage.
Yep.
You know, we're like, okay, we still need to. Plus, it's all in one unit, so it's kind of like good in a way.
Yep.
You know, because it's all in one building, and we could just
move it up and down. You don't
bring it
have
up,
to, move
up
it
and down
yeah.
again. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds a lot. Like
It
a lot of
was a
people would
lot.
just collapse completely. But it's really great to
Yeah.
look at it in hindsight, knowing what you've achieved in your business. Because I know your business, you're one of you're actually the only team that we use outside of our internal cleaning team, and you guys are fantastic and you're very successful at what you do. So it's really inspirational to see you go through. Like I always tell you that I love, how you're expanding and growing and doing the work, but also knowing where you came from having so much success in this industry, then going through a total collapse, and then not, I'm sure you were not happy about it for quite some time, but really fighting through that and creating something even bigger potentially, right? In terms of what you're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's it takes some time to recover from loss, but it is what it is. You got to move on, right? I remember it was like very, very stressful when we need to disassemble multiple units at the same time, put this furniture somewhere, sell it, rent it, whatever it is, on the same day, like
imagine.
5, 6, 7 units, and you're like, oh my God.
And
there is a truck, and there's all of this, and my kid is in the middle of it.
Yeah, and I can, of course, that too. And I can, it's already hard enough to do that when you're excited about it because you're expanding, doing things. Can you imagine you've done it when you're, have to do that, but it's not to grow, not for the exciting reasons, but actually for the opposite. So it's, it's a lot. I can imagine.
So I think that's like definitely an important thing, part of our lives as well, and like kind of just downsizing, throwing, letting go, and
part of the journey, right?
Yeah, and at this point, I actually, interestingly, I had already a cleaning business. I already separated them.
Mm-hmm.
So I separated the two businesses in 2018.
Okay.
So cleaning business started to kind of like pick up, but it still wasn't my main business at this point, right?
It's more like servicing your
Yeah, it was
business,
like, okay, let me start trying out, things, experimenting. So I sent some flyers to homeowners and people started calling, booking, and then I started like, oh, can I do commercial? What does it mean, commercial? What does it look like? Luckily we got this huge office, like, I don't know, I think it's like 60,000 square feet place, and I'm like, oh, let's see how do we clean all of that space, on a daily basis? How do we schedule this? Okay, let's create new system. So anyway, it started to kind of pick up a little bit at this time, but not as much. It wasn't my primary business still, right?
Right.
And then because of the pandemic, my mind wasn't that quite there to see the opportunity. Oh, hold on a second. Cleaning business could do all this sanitation and da-da-da-da-da. But my brain wasn't there. So I didn't actually...
capitalize on that, per se.
Yeah, jump on that opportunity.
Yeah.
But
still, it's incredible to hear this journey. And by the way, not many people know, but you have this thing going. It's like my billionaire's journey, and or whatever it is, right? Whatever you call it, it's amazing. I love it. So guys, we're gonna link Alina's socials at the bottom, and you're definitely gonna follow that because I love watching it. It's like some days are good, some days are better than others, like I say, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good, sometimes it sucks, and I love seeing it because all of us entrepreneurs are going on the journey, and not every day is rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes you gotta shovel unicorn shit. I'm sorry, right? And it's look at his face. It's just all the time. So yeah, and it's incredible to see, and I really appreciate people who do that, and especially when they had difficult situations like that. But enough with all the the sobby stuff.
Yeah.
The cleaning stuff. It's amazing. So tell us. For example, and there's obviously a difference. What is the difference between cleaning a condo, cleaning a house? I'm not sure if you do cottages, and then you said you have commercial. Like there's a big, difference between doing all those things, right?
Yeah. So right now we practically clean anything and everything. There is residential, which could be, we put Airbnbs in there, residential units, houses, apartments, whatever it is. Also, when tenants move out, so that would be move out cleanings, right?
Yep.
So we work with realtors as well, or landlords that need that type of service.
Or like post-construction and all that stuff.
Yeah. There is also commercial, and that can be retail, it can be offices, it can be restaurants, really anything. And then construction, cleaning as well. So whether the building is built or maybe a housing site, right?
Yep.
Maybe there are 200 houses. Everything is built, you need to clean it, pretty much top to bottom. And so we do those kind of services. But it's fun for me to just see what else is there and continue to learn. For example, if they say, "Oh, guys, can you do power washing of the garage?"
Yeah.
And it will be like of the entire building. I'm like, okay, let's learn it, let's try it, let's do it. Yes, let's go, right?
Yeah, I love the initiative. And I remember early on when you took over one of the properties, I think it was even more of a test clean. You literally showed up there yourself and you're like, this is how you clean the carpet. You were just literally showing it. And like, it was just like, you're like a professional over here. Like, you're cleaners. These are the ways you do it. And I'm like, holy shit, this girl knows her stuff. Like, it's very precise. You don't go clockwise, you go counterclockwise. I'm just exaggerating, but it was literally like that. It was like scientific, which is amazing to see. I'm like, this is professional over here.
That's a great topic to bring up, because like when we look for cleaners, you guys work together, but like how do you train your cleaners? How do you, who do you hire, and how do you maintain that they stick to the checklist or the procedure, that they don't mess up? You're doing all these type of cleanings, right? Everyone has different standards, and they're looking for different things. Like for us Airbnb hosts, like we need, restock, or like make sure like there's no hair and all these other little things. Like how do you make sure your team stays on top of it? I know you're going there, you're probably actually doing it in front of them. Like, how do you make sure that this quality stays?
It's not an easy task, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a very good question.
Yeah, it's not an easy task because there are multiple components. And actually what you're saying, right, whether it's scientific, I actually came up with a quote, cleaning is an art, doing it with your heart. So it's
I like
really
that. It's a nice jingle right there.
Yeah.
Should be your tagline on the website.
We do have it somewhere on our t-shirts.
Okay, love
but
it.
It's art, like you need to have this creative eye to look for things, to see what's up, what's wrong, how can I make it better, how is that pillow supposed to be on the couch, how to. Some people just put the bottles in the bathroom. No, you gotta put the label first. You gotta like
angle
tilt
it,
that angle that little thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're as psychotic as I am.
The toilet paper gotta have the stamp on it, so it looks like a hotel.
Edwin is as well. That's why we get along quite well. So we're very similar in that regard.
Gotcha. Yeah. And if you are as detail oriented, as
or
a
that's a
host
better word than psychotic. I like that. I'll use that.
Detail conscious. Yeah. So, it's really important for you, but in reality, not that many people are, right? Like not that many people actually detail oriented, or they see what you see. No. So it takes time to train the eye. It takes time to educate this, and even explain, right? What are the consequences of not seeing it? But for example, not seeing that hair on the white sheet, on the white bed sheet, right? Or in the bathtub, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because clients are different. Some clients are very easygoing, and some clients are very.
Don't even get me started. We got a 4-star review once. I mean, unfortunately more than once, but once for the fact that the place seemed a little dusty, and I would probably be like, you know what, we should have brought somebody in. Probably there was like a day or two break. But the fact that I was there that day myself and knowing me, the detail oriented, vacuumed myself because I was taking I think I was taking some videos of the property. I had to take some videos, and then I made sure like everything was, perfectly fine. And they're like, oh, the place was dusty. Somebody came there a few hours later. I was just upset. Like I was personally pissed off,
Yeah,
you know?
you were hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. And like the guy was German. So, I mean, we know the German, they're very precise. German engineering, right? The BMW. Edwin and I love the racing stuff. And it's different people are different, right? For me, at my level, and I'm pretty like intense, that was more than enough. And for him, he found something that wasn't up to standard. And somebody else would allow a lot more, you know, slack.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people, and you know, even if you notice, not notice, there is another part of personality. How far are you gonna go? You know, because some people will go above and beyond to hurt your business and put those comments. You know, if I go rent an Airbnb and I'm detail oriented, but I'll look at it, I'm like, yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah, I'm definitely more lenient when I'm staying at an Airbnb because I also run one myself. So
exactly.
Shit happens, you know, and but I wouldn't go above and beyond to like make this bad comment to mess with somebody else's business. You know, maybe I'll send them a message, but some people will, you know.
Right, and, you know, and the reason we work together and we've been working together well for quite some time now is because of that detail-oriented mentality that you have. And things might not be perfect. Certain things happen, but in general, it is significantly higher from whatever I've seen in the industry. And again, my internal team, we were able to train them on our 17-page manual that I've kind of put together because I'm also detail-oriented, and they do a very good job. And again, sometimes it's not perfect, but it's very high. I would say it's the top level in the city when it comes to short-term rentals. And you guys are able to match it. The only company that I've seen in the space, in the city who can do it, because I've hired individual cleaners early on, right? That's how we got together with our head of cleaning. She was doing some work for me, and then I said, listen, why don't we just, you know, do this? You come in and then you hire people and you manage them, right? And that worked out fantastic. She's excellent, right? You work with her directly. She's great. But I've tried other companies, I've tried other cleaners just to have a second team. Sometimes she cannot service properties that are, we have some in Brampton, right, that you take care of. So you do a phenomenal job there. So my kind of long soliloquy here and a question is in, let's say, for the people who are watching, for people who are interested in running their own, let's say Airbnbs or starting a property management company, they need to go through this process. How do they hire the first people? How do they hire a company? What should they look for in that individual if they want to manage an individual versus a company, or a company that can provide high-end cleaning that's not going to kill your business? Because cleaning will make or break your Airbnb business. That's the most important thing. I know, a tough one.
That's a big one. That's a big question. Okay.
There you go. We're bringing out the big guns at this point in time.
I'll prep you a little bit how I do it. So when we look for cleaners, we always ask them, do you work on holidays? Because we operate 24/7s and we're the busiest during holidays. How many people are in your team? Because say in independent cleaners, maybe husband and wife, maybe kids.
Yeah.
If one person is sick, we're done. Like, who do we have to call this backup, and the backup might help you to make it. And then the last question we asked them is like, are you good with technology? Because we need photo proof. We need to communicate online. We understand scheduling.
That's very important.
You know, are you able to do these things? These are like, I'll say the basic 3 questions we asked them. But I guess I'll leave it to you in terms of like the other QAs you would ask.
Yeah, timestamped. If I just quickly mention timestamped photos are the biggest thing, right? I think we, kind of got into that with you guys because you weren't doing that before as much, and we said like we need to have those things because if there are damages, we need to, submit it to Air Cover, which is Airbnb's insurance for damages and stuff, right? And before fact, after fact, all those things need to be documented. So that's huge. So if people are, I don't know how to use my phone, like maybe, an older lady who's great at cleaning, but she can't do this because she's not tech savvy, can't use them.
Can't hire them.
My personal cleaners, they're phenomenal. They come and clean my place. Like I give them the keys, do it. But she doesn't even have a bank account. I e-transfer money to her cousin. A niece or whatever, right? Or a nephew. It's she can't do timestamp photos.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, it's what you just said is pretty much similar to how we hire people as well, because we also ask them, okay, we're talking about so many different things, and I want to talk about many things at the same time as well. Like for example, we need to test them, right, multiple times before they even get on site for the first time, right? But questions like, do you have a smartphone? Let's see how you take the photos, because that's also important. We're managing it from a different place, right? We're not there all the time, right? So
And you can't clone yourself, right? Like it's not possible. You can spot check, but you have to have trust in those people.
Yeah, trust, and you also need to have a system that can check virtually the work, right? To check the standards. But I guess to answer your question in terms of when people hiring cleaning company, right? Just like anything else, you need to hire slow. Hire slow. So like maybe I hire slow as well in my company. It's multiple tests that I do before that person actually enters the team.
That's actually a very interesting kind of suggestion.
We also have many, many gates until they can come in.
Yeah. So for example, how we hire people to clean, right? So first of all, we have multiple interviews with them. Of course, about their experience, whether they've done that before, what kind of stuff they did. You ask them questions specifically, specific questions on how would you clean that? How would you do that? What kind of chemical would you use to understand their experience? Because some people say, oh, I've done it. Yeah, right. You look at it. In reality, no, right? And then they ask for this much money, but reality is reality. You look at it, no, it's not good, right? So you ask them all those questions, trick questions, right? How did you do that? But other questions that are really are very important is their personality.
It's huge.
Their identity, what is important for them. If you have high standards, right, of service, you want to provide a great service, high-end product,
You need
right?
to be aligned.
You need to be aligned with that, right?
Because you're going to be dealing with this person, you're investing your time and effort, and if you guys are not aligned, there might be a situation or conflict. And it can blow up if the person doesn't know how to deal with it. And you have to be conscious of
And you also business is a business, right? But any business is a spiritual thing, in my opinion. So that's why
I love that too. That's really good.
That's why I say cleaning is an art. Do it with your heart. And it's we're all making money and we're all trying to blah blah. But at the same time, we are bringing value to each other, right?
And you need to enjoy the process, because otherwise, what the hell is the point of doing it?
If people are just coming in to make money, then you already know that some stuff is not going to click, because, for example, shit happens, right? You need to see what you're going to do with it. Like, are you continuously committed to make things great? Even if things are falling apart, something is wrong, and you're like, no, my stand is to make sure I'm not leaving until it's done. And there are some people like that, and there are some people that don't care. They just show up, clean, however they clean,
That's not gonna work. And you probably team them up. Because that's what we've seen last deep clean we did with you guys. Heidi, who is phenomenal. She's our favorite. She's a beast. And then another guy was with her, and he was less experienced. And you probably team them up to see how they perform, and then that's an evaluation process.
Yeah, you hire new people as well, right? So pretty much, we do all these interviews first, but then what we do is we call it a test clean, and we don't send them to my place, to anybody's place, to client's place. We say, clean your own home. Send me before and after photos.
Great idea.
Here are the training videos. Here are like 2-3 training videos that you need to watch to understand what we're looking for. As well as here are the kind of photos that we need. So during this test clean, first of all, you see whether they watch those videos. Right? That means that are they committed to work for you? If they're not willing to watch those videos, they're not committed. No problem.
I mean, that's just such a basic barrier of entry. Watch the videos, right? If you can't do that, then
if it's a 2-hour video, you gotta put the commitment, you gotta put the work in that before you get hired.
Right, and it's very important to also get proper training, or people have to have proper experience, because what if they use certain chemicals on expensive marble?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then what are you gonna pay now, $15,000-$20,000 for the marble job that you have to redo,
Yeah.
or whatever the countertop might be? So it's very important to also kind of going back to the point and making a point on this one, to have trust in the people you're gonna send to do these jobs,
Yeah.
or destroy like a $5,000
Oh, yeah.
TV. You know,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
you probably had those.
Well, damages can definitely happen, especially if, people make mistakes, for sure. Or maybe something that I made mistakes myself personally.
And listen, I always say people make mistakes. It's fine. We're not working with robots here. It's not a software.
Yeah.
That's,
As long as you fix it.
but you want to just make them occur as less frequent as possible, and not for them to be massive. So yeah, that's the.
And then you also continue to learn. Sometimes you just don't know, there's like a new material, and you're like, oh, we should not do that. Yep, this is the way, So even now, I've been in the industry for a long time, but you never always deal with different material, different stuff, different product, different, requirements. So you continuously learn, and you just, as when I learn or somebody else has learned, we share it with the team to make sure that everybody up to speed with that, But yeah, again, with hiring, right? So once we do this this test clean, you're able to see how they take the photos.
Yep.
Whether they
follow
take enough of them.
instructions,
Is it clear? Do they know how,
Smart.
do they follow the
move.
instructions? Do they know the checklist? They already know. If something is missing on the photos, we're like, hold on a second. Where is that corner over there? Or where is under the bed? I need to see dust under the bed. So you ask them to redo. At this point, it's still an interview process, and it's great for everybody. Like we
They
see
clean
them
their
work.
room.
They clean their own house.
Yeah.
I didn't pay them anything.
Yeah.
They learned
That's very,
something.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
That's a very good tip for people to kind of, when you're hiring, not just necessarily, we're not talking about starting a cleaning business, but just for your short-term rental, right? Like, do that test with your cleaners. That's amazing.
Yeah,
It's a very actionable, good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we start sending them with other cleaners that already know what to do.
Yep.
So pair them together, and they go through another set of tests. It's usually another 3 cleans that they do paired up with someone.
Yep.
And then after that, the next 3 cleans solo.
Yep.
But it's still testing, and you still continue to send them additional videos, additional training, and so on.
Seems like a lot of process.
It's quite a bit. So that's why hire
very good.
slowly and
Fire quickly.
fire quickly if you can. If you can,
But
right?
it's
Because
the-
not always do you have
Yeah,
like
have the
these are-
capacity.
someone to rely
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, these are really, really useful tips. Thanks for those. A good, like a big question for you. You obviously have the short-term rental experience. How do turnover cleans, which are Airbnb cleaning procedure, differ from regular house clean or a condo clean?
In general, it's more stressful. In general,
Tell me why.
yeah.
Tell me why.
From my perspective, it's more stressful because it's limited time. Let's say the normal checkout in most places is 11 a.m., right? Check-in is 4 p.m. So it's a small window to come
And
and
you can't
clean.
call in sick because that guest is not going to be happy with the... Yeah.
And we got
Absolutely.
early check-ins
And
sometimes.
if I'm going to go show up and have to clean, if the cleaners didn't show up, I'm not going to be a happy customer either.
Yeah. So there is just more on the line.
Yes.
It's a lot
Residential.
more stressful then, yeah.
Yeah. Residential, when you do a general cleaning, it's mostly what you see out of here, right? You don't go inside the
and open
fridge, you
cabinets,
don't inside the cabinets, unless it's added, So you just go outside, right? And especially when you work with your clients all the time, it's not like, I don't want to say that if you leave something, it's okay. It's not okay. But you know what I mean? You develop a relationship, and
It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the
Because if
world.
the guest is going to come and you left something, right? Then you're going to get the 3-4 star review.
Yeah.
Where it's the person you already have a relationship with and
Yeah.
you left something. They're going to be like, hey, do you mind looking at that next time? They might get a little annoyed, but it's not going to reflect on
Yeah.
the business in
Yeah.
any significant way.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
now all our viewers and listeners will know why cleaning fees are expensive. And they're
Yes, thank you,
expensive for a
Edwin.
reason.
Absolutely. And it really takes time.
It
It
does.
takes time to check everything
Yeah,
inside and
you got
outside.
beds that you don't have to deal
Yeah.
with for residential cleans. You have laundry. You have dishes. You have exterior. I don't know if you take care of the exterior or not.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, well, balconies you have to do. You know what? You made a very good point, because our clients come to us and they're like, why is the cleaning fee $150 for this 2-bedroom? Like the other ones are $80 in the area. I'm like, first of all, you do not want to see in what state that unit is in. That's number one. Number two, it's either the owner's cleaning it and they're just putting whatever, $50, $60. There's no way a proper turnover clean for a 2-bedroom unit can be done for $80 unless I am adding more money out of my own pocket to pay for the cleaning, because there's just no humanly possible way to do that properly.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to have a long conversation with the with your clients. And fortunately, we're in a good place around that now. But it's been a struggle at certain points in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It takes a long time, you know.
I'll send them this video.
Would you say you have better profit margins doing Airbnbs, or better profit margins doing like commercial because of the scale and the less problems? And
Interesting. So margins are different everywhere, and really depends on who you're working with. And for example, post construction, if I'm working directly with the builder, that might be a better price. But if there is a middleman as well, that's smaller margin. But you see at the volume, and you're like, okay, that makes sense, right? So it really depends. I would say residentials are still higher than Airbnbs, for example. There are different rates. Airbnb is like a business, right? So it's very important that they hit their numbers, like my clients or hosts, they hit their numbers, right? Because they're also working with multiple variables, including, am I going to get booked if my cleaning fee is too high, right? So, and I understand that. So I'm trying to work with that, but it also depends. Okay, well, how many units we're talking about? Is it just 1 unit? Is it 10 units? Because the bigger the volume, the more we can negotiate for sure, right?
that's a good point. What's your bulk rate? Like, would you say like a client coming with like 2 or 3, it's like not sufficient to be giving a discount to them, wheras like you need 5,
Maybe like
10.
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can still give discounts and we still can negotiate, but the bigger the volume,
it's
the
more
bigger.
Easier to make the decision.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. You mentioned you guys do post-construction cleans, you do commercial cleans, you do even garage cleans, and of course, turnovers for us, Airbnbs, and regular cleans. What are your deep cleans as well? What are your most hated jobs? Like, what do you? Because I know, like my internal teams, like we hate deep cleans. It's just like so annoying. Like call Alina's team to do it. I'm like, she's not gonna do it if she's not gonna take the property. So you have to do it. What do you like hate doing out of the? You already have the answer. I can see it in your face.
Yeah, I think the worst is restaurants.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah. The kitchen, right?
Restaurants.
It's probably pretty gross.
Oh my God, like honestly, maybe I don't want to gross out your audience. Maybe they will never go to restaurants. But restaurants look terrible, many.
Yep.
And it looks so beautiful outside, but
In the kitchen, you mean, right?
yeah, but when you start looking at things, when you start analyzing, it's that, in the kitchen.
Yeah.
At the back of house.
And you're like, wow, this is really
Pretty gross.
Intense,
pretty
yeah.
gross.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And but you know what? I've had multiple experiences, and we also had a chain of restaurants. It was 6 restaurants. All restaurants look terrible on the inside. Outside looks pretty, and I'm not gonna call names here, but you know what I mean. When we started the projects, I'm like, we need a serious deep clean here. Serious. Like if inspection comes in,
You're not gonna pass, right?
no.
That's wild.
Cheesecake Factory.
No. But yeah, and at some point, it's like it was a big client, but interestingly, we had issues like that with them, and up until now, I think my entire team is traumatized still by the experience, because we needed to clean everything, and then we continue to maintain. But some kitchen staff is great, some are not. They don't care. They just throw the eggshells like this.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
How about for Airbnbs? Since we are
Airbnbs.
what's the most traumatic cleaning experience? Like we had a kid that would squirt. We had a kid that squirted all the shampoo and everything into the sewer. We're on a septic because we manage cottages, and it was just bubbles everywhere. And we have shit on the table because the baby diapers. Like that's, I would say, one of the worst.
That's wild.
And smoking and dirty carpets and people wearing shoes. I think that's kind of mainly what we see, but I'm sure you probably have seen worse.
Yeah, we've seen all kinds of stuff, and hopefully, especially...
It's not for this podcast, not for the this is for,
hopefully your clients are like, more... you also hire your clients slowly, just not anybody just enters your house. But we've seen everything. Definitely the worst is parties. Sometimes you don't know. And really, you don't know who is going to enter your place. Because sometimes they say, oh, yeah, we're just visiting here. And then you have a massive,
noise monitoring devices and strict house rules.
We're watching.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff is happening. But it's interesting that different cultures are different. That's what I also realized.
100%.
Because, like we had...
We just talked about it last week.
I think it was like...
We're not going there. We're not discussing this on a podcast, but yes.
Yeah. No?
No.
We cannot talk about that?
No. I'm saying what we're talking about. This is off the record. So yeah, but no, for sure. What we discussed, with Edwin last time. This is off the record. Whatever you're saying is perfectly fine. So yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So cultures, right, are different, and some cultures, the way they cook, it's like smell is everywhere. You need to wash your curtains. You need to wash your walls. You need to do something, especially if they stay for a long time.
Yeah,
it's just very, very...
Gotta buy a lot of Febreze.
A lot of aroma over there.
Machine, all that stuff.
Yeah, but I've seen also people like just, I think it's Korea or, some countries where they take showers outside. They just think that there is a drain and you can just take a shower anywhere in the bathroom.
You know what? This is insane what you just said. We just had guests, I think from Korea, and we had a flood. And we had to replace the whole thing. And I'm like, did you guys use the shower curtain? Because we thought the pipes were like burst or something. Yeah. And, they said, of course we use the shower curtain. And I'm like, and then our guy went in, Alexei, fantastic human being. He went in, he's like, all the pipes are fine. Everything is good. He had to replace the whole drywall, the ceiling and everything, dry it up.
Wow.
And we charged them. So we're just waiting for our air cover. So it should be fine. But like, it's wild.
Yeah. So we had multiple floods like that, and you don't know, they think that it's normal. They're just like, here's a bathtub, here's a toilet. They take a shower right in between.
That's insane.
Just like this. The water goes straight into the living room, and then you just need to replace the entire flooring. And but okay, if it's only your unit, if it is apartments, the flood goes down.
Yeah, luckily it was a 2-story townhouse. The townhouse.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Crazy. Yeah. We gotta wrap up. This was absolutely amazing. But last question for our audience that would be very helpful. Would you have a tip or a suggestion how Airbnb operators, whether they're companies or they're just individuals who are running Airbnbs, how can they improve their cleaning experience with their teams, or again maybe hire, or any kind of tips around that?
Definitely, you need to have a system. You need to develop a system. Whether you develop it from scratch or you have somebody share their experience, but you need to have a solid system,
like
structure, checklist. Yeah, there needs to be training, definitely initial training. Training needs to reoccur as well. You need to come back to that. You need to revisit. And as well, not only training the cleaning itself, but what's important is also to train the personality, that integrity is not something that they do. it's something that they are, so
This is a very meaningful conversation here, very, very deep. I love it. No, I like it. That's a very nice approach to
It
things.
is. Do you think personality or the behavior trait is trainable or it's inherent? It's like part
it's
of that
trainable.
person.
It's trainable and it's contagious. And if you have a team of people that stand for that, and then you don't want to be, everybody want to look good, So if you like, oh, my integrity is shit, look at all those integrous people around me. So
self-reinforces because it's
it
within the team.
reinforces.
Absolutely.
It
That's really
reinforces, and and little by little, it's like make it in a way not an obligation, but you're motivated by it. It just becomes the stamp on your heart.
Yeah, part
Yeah.
of your company culture and making
Yeah.
sure that people
That's kind
are
of
like
a
that.
perfect way to end this podcast.
Yeah.
Thank
Beautiful.
you so much for coming. Alina Lapteva right here. If you need good cleaning service, she's the girl to reach out to. We'll definitely leave your, I always forget what handles.
Your
At
company
the,
name. We didn't
exactly
catch
in
your
the
company name
description.
at the beginning, as I remember.
It was Lifestyle Cleaning.
Your
right?
lifestyle cleaning.
Lifestyle
Your
cleaning.
Cleaning. Yeah.
All right.
Guys do a fantastic job. We use them all the time. So highly recommend. So thank you so much for coming. And this was a pleasure.
Thank you.